how can I call in my soulmate? How can I call in somebody to meet me? How can I call in, the one? And I think what happens is that people go about this backwards. They try to put the cart before the horse. They have a list of things that they would love to receive in a partner. They have a list of traits that they would love from their king or their priestess, but they haven't actually elevated themselves to meet that. And so I always suggest that you start with who's the kind of partner that you want to attract and get very clear. Like, they have this trait, they have this trait, they're successful, people make these lists all the time, but what they don't do is they don't actually think about what would be valuable to that person. They just try to manifest this person without becoming that person's reciprocal partner. And so if you're wanting a masculine partner, for example, that is very present, that is grounded in his life, that has integrity, that is very clear on his purpose, that is a king, right? You have to ask yourself the question, what would be valuable to that king? And I can tell you, working with lots of men and lots of kings, that what is very valuable from the masculine perspective is the capacity to move energy, the capacity to be in full expression with your heart open, emotional maturity, the capacity to really be in devotion, right? So if you're looking for that kind of masculine partner, the question to ask is, what would that partner value? What would that partner really value? And where am I in that? And oftentimes it's really good to talk to your friends, to make a list of what it is. Here are the traits that I want in my king, for example. And then here are the things that I think I could work on that would be super valuable to that person. And then have your friends be, brutally honest with you about where you need to grow. Another thing you can do is you can go to a masculine friend of yours, maybe husband of a friend of yours who you admire and who you think has those traits, and you could ask that person, what would you need to see in me so that I could attract somebody like you, somebody who has your traits? And that's a very vulnerable thing to do, but it's so important. You'll get so much beautiful information. And of course, the opposite is true. If you want to attract a priestess, someone who is magic and who runs energy in beautiful ways and whose heart is just fully open and who expresses themselves as as beautifully as nature expresses herself, then what traits would you need to develop? And go to your men's group and go, okay, here's the kind of woman, here's the kind of feminine partner that I want. Here are the things I think would be incredibly valuable to her or to them. And then have your men check you on that. Where are you in your capacity? If you can't label yourself an 8, 9, or 10 in terms of your capacity to be present, in terms of your integrity, in terms of the way you're living your purpose, in terms of, how meticulous is your life, right? And are you living a life that would be incredibly valuable for that kind of feminine partner? Then you're not going to attract that feminine partner. And if you do, it will be short-lived, because she or they will feel immediately the lack of value for their time, attention, energy, and presence. We have to remember that we don't need to be in relationship the way we did 100 years ago. We don't need each other for security or procreation or any of those things. What we're looking for now in partners is someone who is valuable, someone who is worth our incredible attention and time and devotion. And what I see again and again is people will try to attract the partner they want without being ruthlessly honest with themselves, with, of course, patience and compassion for yourself, but in a dialogue with their friends about who would I need to become so that this person just finds me irresistible. And I wrote a chapter in my book called Let Them Appear. And basically the premise of that chapter is, do your own deep work first. Do your own embodiment work, do your own therapeutic work, do your own spiritual work, become the person that the one you want to attract would find absolutely irresistible and incredibly valuable to create a life with. And that's the place you start.